we gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many UK Prime Ministers and Chancellors alive at the time of the coronation as they could. Richard.
Yes, Queen Elizabeth II was, I was going to say coronated. She was crowned on the 2nd of June 1953. We're looking for any British Prime Minister or Chancellor of the Exchequer who was alive on that day. So they may have been very old on that day, they may have been babies on that day. But anyone who had been or were to become Prime Minister or Chancellor of the Exchequer who was alive on the day of the coronation.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Janae, good luck with this. Going first and all.
Clement Attlee?
Clement Attlee, says Janae. Let's see how many of our 100 people went for Clement Attlee. Clement Attlee is absolutely right. Down he goes to 10. Very well done.
Yeah, he was 70 at the time of the coronation, Clement Attlee. 20 years Labour leader, of course, presided over the introduction of the health service, he gave independence to India, did some extraordinary things on Clement Attlee's watch.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Emily.
Hi.
How are you doing on our PMs and Chancellors?
Not great, to be honest. There's a name that came into my head when it first came up. It's probably completely wrong, but I'm going to have a guess. Neville Chamberlain?
Neville Chamberlain, says Emily. OK, let's see if that's right. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Neville Chamberlain. Oh, bad luck, Emily. I'm afraid not Neville Chamberlain. That scores you 100 points.
Yeah, not a terrible answer. He died in 1940, Neville Chamberlain, so, yeah, 13 years before the coronation.
Thank you very much indeed. Mick?
Yes.
We're looking for anyone who is a UK Prime Minister or Chancellor of the Exchequer who was alive at the time of the Queen's coronation. What are you going to go for?
Well, I did study politics at university, so I think I should have a good answer. I'm going to go for Chancellor, Anthony Barber.
Anthony Barber, says Mick. Ray's reaction to that was... let's see, Anthony Barber. Is it right? How many people said it? It is right. Well, it might be a chance to swell the jackpot coffers a little bit here. Oh, down to 1. Very well done indeed, Frank. That's a great answer. Anthony Barber.
That's a lovely answer, Mick. Well done. Yeah, Chancellor from 70 to 74. He was 32 when the Queen was crowned. His first budget, he introduced VAT. That's if you thought you were unpopular.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Now, Emma, what are you going to go for? Who are you going to go for, I should say?
Well, a name popped into my head when that came up, and now I'm thinking, was he Chancellor or wasn't he Chancellor? But I'm going to go for it and say Dennis Healey.
Dennis Healey,
Yep.
says Emma. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Dennis Healey. Dennis Healey is right. Down he goes to 10. Not bad at all. 10 for Dennis Healey.
Yeah, he took over from Anthony Barber, Dennis Healey, so all through the kind of mid to late 70s.
Thank you very much. Well, before we come back down the line, let's just revisit some of our scores. 1 is where we find Mick and Ray, low scorers there. Emily and Sam we find on 100, so there we are. And then the others on 10, so pretty good low scoring.
I'll tell you what, if robots were watching...
Tell me.
They would still understand these scores because they're all in binary.
Binary, yeah.
If our computer overlords have taken over by the time this goes out, which is possible, if the algorithms have taken over, they'll be loving this. It's 1, 2, 2 and 4 are the scores there, so very close.
Yeah.
There's literally 3 points between everybody if we're playing binary pointless.
I think they're going to be thrown by Dennis Healey, though. That would have...
What, the end... Well, no, because they'll immediately go on Wikipedia or something, won't they? Of
course.
This machine learning. To them, this is great. To them, they've just discovered Dennis Healey. You know, they literally just learned about Anthony Barber. And they're going, must remember Anthony Barber. And then suddenly they've got Dennis Healey as well. And they're going, this is sad news about Neville Chamberlain. You've got to be careful, though, because, as you say, we don't know when this is going out, and we don't know whether the robots would have taken over. But at some point, they will, so we should always be careful.
We should.
Yeah, I love robots.
I was going to say we should be nice about them. Yes, so do I. I think robots are great.
I'll plug this thing in one day.
Steady on that one,
yeah.
I think, maybe. Thank you very much. So, yes, there we are. Those are the scores. We're about to come back down the line now. Will the second players please step up to the podium? So, Becca, who are you going to go for?
I was going to go with Neville Chamberlain, so I'm happy that you went for it first.
Can I just commend you on that? Thank you. Not what normally happens in Pointless is you always have to say, if someone's got a pointless answer or a really low score, you have to lay claim to it. That's how it happens. People say, oh, my answer's gone.
I was going to go with Anthony Barber.
I was going to go with Anthony Barber, exactly. But, you know, that's good. Thank you. Anyway, sorry, as you were. Go on. Yeah.
I'm not that confident on it, but I think it's a real person. So I'm going to go with Harold Macmillan.
Harold Macmillan. Certainly a real person. Here is your red line. Get below that with Harold Macmillan. Round 2 awaits. It's right, sees you through. It's a good answer as well, Becca. Look at that, 21. Taking a total up to 31.
Yeah, he was the Chancellor and then became Prime Minister, Harold Macmillan. He introduced premium bonds, and the opposition at the time, the Labour opposition, called them a squalid raffle.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Now, Ray, what are you going to go for?
Well, thanks to Mick, takes a little bit of pressure off, I think.
It sure does, 98 or less.
I'm going to go for Norman Lamont.
Norman Lamont, says Ray. Let's see how many of our 100 people said that. Here is your red line. Norman Lamont gets you very comfortably through. But down it goes to 12, taking your total up to 13. Very well done.
Yeah, he was 11 at the time of the coronation, Norman Lamont.
I wonder what he looked like when he was 11.
He probably looked like a young Norman Lamont.
Yes. Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Thank you. Sam, what are you going to go for? You're currently our high scorers. We need a low score.
Well, this is literally the worst subject for me and Emily, so just to save getting the 200 points, I'll have to say Margaret Thatcher.
Margaret Thatcher, says Sam. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Margaret Thatcher. No red line for you. You're the high scorers. Margaret Thatcher is right. Down it goes 65. 165 your total.
Yeah, she was Prime Minister, you know, Margaret Thatcher.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Thank you. Now then, Helen.
Hello. I'm going to go for James Callaghan.
James Callaghan.
I'm pretty sure that's
OK,
right.
no red line for you. You're already through. How many people said James Callaghan? He's right. Down it goes to 19. Taking our total up to 29.
Yeah, another one who was Prime Minister and Chancellor, James Callaghan, Jim Callaghan. Now, all the pointless answers were Chancellors, so let's take a look at some of them. All of these would have added a little bit of money to the jackpot. Derek Heathcote Amory, Hugh Dalton, Ian MacLeod, John Anderson, John Simon, Peter Thornycroft, Reginald Maudlin and Selwyn Lloyd. Those are the only pointless answers. Other low scorers also Chancellors. Roy Jenkins would have scored you 1. Gates Gill would have scored you 2. Jeffrey Howe would have scored you 2. Rab Butler 3. Kenneth Clark would have scored you 7 points. The biggest scorers, well, Margaret Thatcher was the top scorer. Churchill would have scored you 53 and Tony Blair 40.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, we are at the end of our first round. We have to say goodbye to one of our pairs, Sam and Emily. I'm sorry to say you are that pair on this occasion. You'll be back, though.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time, and we look forward to that very much indeed. But meantime, thank you very much. Sam and Emily. Wonderful.